Cristóbal Balenciaga was born in 1895 in the village of Getaria, located in the northern region of Spain, known for its fishing industry. His mother, who was a seamstress, introduced him to the world of fashion, and her clients included some of the most fashionable and glamorous women in the village. At the tender age of 12, he began an apprenticeship at a tailor's shop in the neighboring resort town of San Sebastian, where he eventually established his first fashion house in 1917, named Isa, a shortened version of his mother's maiden name. After establishing fashion houses in Barcelona and Madrid, Balenciaga made the decision to move to Paris in 1937. His fashion house on Avenue Georges V quickly became renowned as the most exclusive and expensive couturier in the city. Balenciaga's early training set him apart from other couturiers of the time because he was proficient in every stage of the garment making process, from pattern drafting to cutting, assembling, and finishing. He believed that the design process should begin with the fabric rather with the sketch, stating that it's the fabric that decides, which demonstrated his expertise in using materials effectively. The brand's early years were marked by a focus on couture garments, with Balenciaga creating incredible designer dresses and shoes for other clients. One of the key features of Balenciaga's early designs was their focus on shape and structure. The designer was known for his ability to create garments that were both elegant and highly sculptural, often featuring stiffened fabrics and intricate draping. This emphasis on structure would become a hallmark of the brand and would influence other designers for decades to come. In the 1950s, the late phase of his career, Balenciaga pioneered new shapes never before seen in women's fashion. These radical designs evolved gradually as he refined and reworked the same ideas from season to season. Volume filled the balloon hems of his early 1950s dresses and was then used at the back of his semi-fit lines in the mid-50s. Dresses and jackets fitted at the front, but the loose, voluminous backs. In 1957, he shocked the fashion world with the introduction of the sec dress, a straight up and down shift dress which completely eliminated the waist. At a time when Christian Dior's hourglass shaped the new look was still dominant, the sack was initially met with hostility from both clients and the press. "It's hard to be sexy in a sack," cried the Daily Mirror. Like many of Balenciaga's most radical designs, this look eventually filtered into the mainstream. The sack dress was the forerunner of the ambiguous mini dress of the 1960s and remained the fashion staple today. In the 1960s, Balenciaga began to experiment with new fabrics and techniques, creating garments that were more fluid and less structured than his early designs. The new aesthetic was evident in his brand's iconic tunic dress, which featured a simple, unstructured shape and was made from lightweight fabrics like chiffon and jersey. Balenciaga dressed some of the most glamorous women in the 1950s and 60s, including Hollywood actress Ava Gardner, fashion icon Gloria Guinness, and Mona von Bismarck, one of the world's wealthiest women, who commissioned everything from ball gowns to gardening shorts from the couturier. He liked to dress women who had a strong sense of style, and his clients were often extremely loyal. When his fashion house closed in 1968, the news shocked his clientele, who experienced a real sense of loss. Mona von Bismarck supposedly shut herself in a room for 3 days straight. However, the legacy of Balenciaga's brand lived on, and in 1986 it was acquired by the French fashion conglomerate Kering. In 1987, the fashion house was reopened with a new creative director, Josephus Timister, and it has continued to operate under the name Balenciaga ever since. In the decades that followed, Balenciaga continued to innovate and evolve, introducing new styles and silhouettes that kept the brand at the forefront of fashion. In the 1990s, for example, the brand's creative director Nicholas introduced a more streetwear-inspired aesthetic, with garments that were more casual and relaxed than the brand's traditional couture offerings. Unlike some other high-profile designers of the era, Balenciaga was a very private individual. He refused to speak to the press, giving only one interview during his 50-year career. Despite his elusive nature, Balenciaga led the revolution in fashion and has consistently been revered by his contemporaries, including the likes of Christian Dior and Coco Chanel, and the fashion leaders of today. French designer Emmanuel Ungaro, who trained with Balenciaga, said it was he who laid the foundations of modernity and fashion, and both Ungaro and Andre Courreges, another Balenciaga protege, took forward the teacher's minimalist aesthetic into the space age chic of the 1960s. Today, Balenciaga remains one of the most highly regarded and influential fashion brands in the world. The brand continues to push the boundaries of fashion with a focus on contemporary design and cutting-edge techniques. Whether through its couture collections or its more accessible ready-to-wear lines, Balenciaga continues to be a leader in the world of fashion.